Welcome to ForexTV.com. It's Wednesday, December 26th. I'm Remy Hokie for your New York Forex Market Buzz. In New York afternoon trade, Euro-dollar is trading at the 145 level as of 1:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Sterling dollar is at 1.9830, while dollar-yen is at 114.20. In today's U.S. economic data, the S&P Case-Shiller Index showed that property values fell 6.1% compared with the year-ago period. Meanwhile, financial markets in the UK, Australia, and Hong Kong are closed for the Boxing Day holiday. Joining me this afternoon is Matt Kassel, Director of Proprietary Trading at ING Capital Markets. Good afternoon, Matt.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for joining us after the Christmas holiday.
Yes.
Well, in today's session, the U.S. dollar is losing ground against the euro, but trading volume in the currency market is a lot thinner than normal conditions. And taking a look fundamentally, U.S. growth remains weak in the retail, housing, and manufacturing sectors. And technically, euro-dollar flows have tapered off now. But given current overbought conditions in euro-dollar, what is your forecast for the pair as we head into the New York close?
Well, the euro's been very well bid all day long in New York. It started when it broke up through 144.10, and it's really been firm all day. The break of 144.60 really triggered a move up towards 145 the figure, and we haven't really given back those gains all day. I think once Asia gets in, I think once Europe gets in the morning, I think we're going to see some profit taking on not just the euro dollar, but more importantly the euro crosses, euro Swiss, euro yen, euro sterling, all at very high levels, euro sterling at all-time high levels. So I would be looking for euro to come off, not too much. I think 144.50 still holds, but I think some retracement of today's thin trading is warranted.
Okay, and moving on to the sterling, the market continues to speculate that the BOE will be easing rates as we head into 2008. Today we're seeing euro sterling being pressured higher, while volume in sterling dollar has been around the 1.9830 level. But Matt, what are your levels of support and resistance for euro sterling as well as sterling dollar?
Sure. Well, before I go on about that, I do want to say that one of the highlights for euro sterling today was a very large option barrier, which was triggered at 73.10. Now, in thin market condition, these types of barriers are not as well defended as they would be in normal market conditions, and that also has some explanation for why the euro dollar was so well bid. People were buying a tremendous amount of euros to knock out a very large euro sterling barrier. Having said that, going forward, there's really no significant levels in euro sterling. This is again, in uncharted territory. The market is looking for the Bank of England to ease along with the Fed in 2008, while the ECB remains hawkish and at the very least on hold. You should see euro sterling remain firm on any dip from here. I would say dips down to 72.40 are going to be bought, and I would say any rally in euro sterling from 73.20 up to 73.35 are going to meet heavy option-related selling.
Okay, and turning our focus over to the Japanese yen, earlier you touched on euro yen, and the pair is trading at a multi-week high and saw gains past 165.60 in the session. And dollar yen has been mostly trading sideways on the day. But going into year end, if you could briefly give us your yen forecast.
Sure. I mean, the yen trades as a proxy of risk. The global equity markets seem to be holding their ground. A lot of bad news has been priced into the markets with write-downs and subprime-related issues. I don't see any of these risks dissipating into year-end, and on that basis, I think there is a cap as to how much yen can be sold. I've been seeing for the last 2 weeks a tremendous amount of interest to be buying yen crosses as people put on risks into the year end, or likely to push currency pairs towards their extremes for year-end bookmarking. I do think that in early 2008 you see aggressive yen unwind again, not so much as a typical yen unwind as it is a real speculative long yen position going into 2008, even if the Bank of Japan does not hike in the first or second quarter.
Okay, and Matt, before we wrap up today's interview, let's take a look at the so-called commodity currencies. Earlier we saw spec selling of dollar CAD, and also given the pop we've been seeing in commodity prices today and negative dollar sentiment, we've seen strength in Aussie dollar as well as Kiwi dollar. So if you could briefly give us your levels for the commodity currencies against the dollar.
Sure. without too much attention on New Zealand dollars, the fundamental move in dollar Canada and Aussie dollar are a little bit easier to digest, with gold having traded up from $808 an ounce up towards $825, which is really pretty close to where we are now. And on the same side, Canada having oil trade back above $96 a barrel. These two things had psychological impacts on a very thin trading market. I do think that if you had to pick one of the two, I would be more inclined to be bullish dollar Canada than I would to be bearish Aussie dollar. In light of what's been taking place in the commodity market in the last 6 months, it would seem that dollar Canada has more room to rally than Aussie does to fall. And the Australian dollar story is very, very strong, and the Canadian dollar story is just not quite as strong. It was driven significantly by mergers and acquisition flows and heavy speculation. So the Aussie looks fairly well bid. I think that can dip back down towards 86.90, but it's probably a better buy there. And as far as dollar Canada is concerned, I would be picking up dollar Canada anywhere between 98 the figure and 98.20, looking for a move back above 99 cents as we head into more tradable hours in the next 2 days.
Okay, Matt, as always, thank you very much for insight and analysis, and have a great new year.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That wraps it up for your Forex Market Buzz with Matt Kassel, Director of Proprietary Trading at ING Capital Markets. I'm Remy Hokie. Join us later this afternoon for PM Exchange right here on ForexTV.com.